Let's talk to God. One more thing, like, subscribe, and share. Come on, let's talk to God. Woo!
Well, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Hey, it's Cutler here, the Let's Talk to Cutler broadcast. I was having a few technical issues and I was trying to figure out what in the world was going on. But hey, come on, it's time. Hey, guys, let's talk to Cutler. Hey, it is the 8th of February already. The month is moving right along. It's the 8th of February, and I'm so thankful that you all are here. I'm so thankful that you all are getting ready to share this space with me. You know, these 1,800 seconds, as we have been talking about, when I am overwhelmed, how to handle life at its most intense moments. If you're just joining for the first time, if this is your first time passing by the channel, we are acting as a virtual book club here lately because we are reading from this book right here, When I Am Overwhelmed, How to Handle Life at Its Most Intense Moments. If you would like the book, please run on over to Amazon.com, pick up your copy of the book. I would tell you what this is all about. It's about inspiration. It is about motivation. As you can see from the title of this book says messages of hope, inspiration, and motivation. As a matter of fact, I think the last few of my books are all about inspiration. They're about motivation. They're about trying to find some nuggets that I can share to help us show up tomorrow a little bit better than we did today. It doesn't mean that today was a loss, a flop, or anything like that. It just means that we're taking the time to see how we can become better, how we can improve our own lives. We're not casting dispersions. We're not hiding our rocks and throwing hands. We're not doing any of that kind of stuff, but we're looking at ourselves, and we are doing it as a community of winners. We're doing it as a community of people who are committed to better. And as we're riding along this highway, we're inviting people to join the caravan, to come on along with us. And so we invite you to come on along. So if this is your first time, second or third time, and you still haven't joined, you still haven't clicked that subscribe, go ahead and click subscribe. I want to say, hold on, pump the brakes, and just click on that subscribe button. And then after you subscribe, just go ahead and click on the notification bell, because it lets you know whenever I've gone live. It lets you know whenever I have uploaded new content. So make sure that you subscribe. And then as you're joining the conversation this evening, I admonish you, come on into the chat so we can see what's going on, so we can chat some things up, so we can talk about a few things, because I have a few questions for us this evening. I want to do what is called an emotional and mental and spiritual check-in. That's really what I want to do this evening. I want to do an emotional and mental and spiritual check-in. I want to do it with all of us, because this is the time, as we have been reading, you all, as we have been, I dropped the book, sorry. As we have been reading from this, I want us to pause and just to see how we are doing. I want us this evening to check in on our family and our friends and our fellow passengers, because we can read all of this book, and if we don't stop to see how we're digesting it, then it's all for naught rather. And I want to make sure that we're just marching to the beat of a drum that we can all march to. I want to make sure that we're marching along to this place called better. So I want to do a community check. I guess that's what I probably should have called this. A virtual book club check, a community check, just to make sure that we're all doing okay. So before we go into chapter 6, I want us to stop and go back and look at a few things. That's what I want us to do. But I want to shout out the LTTC VIPs for the evening, the people who just jump right on into the chat first. Usually they are the first 3 people, and they vary from session to session. So if you want to be an LTTC VIP and you want me to shout you out, jump on into that chat first, all right? Beat people into the chat. Go get your lemonade, your iced tea, your favorite libation, your beverage of choice. I don't care. And just come on into the chat room. But so let me just shout out the LTTC VIPs for this evening. Annie Cutler says, let's ride. That's right. Let's ride. We're going down this highway. We're riding, and we're finding a space that's called better, and we're inviting people to come along with us. T Cutler says, happy Tuesday, LTTC family. I love it. The LTTC family. And then Our friend Fabulous Me says, we are here today. And indeed we are. So a special hello to everybody. But let's do this, you all. We've been reading this book, and I want to walk us through it because I've realized that I think that the benefit of a virtual book club, when the author is there, you get a chance to see what's in my head, what's in my mind, what was going on when I wrote certain things. But to everyone who's coming along, let's talk about, let's just review, let's just catch up. Let's just talk as a group of fellow passengers, as a group of family and friends, and let's see where we are, and let's just make sure that we are doing this community catch up to make sure that no one is lost. So a good evening to all of you. Linda, tell them all. Let's just grab a seat and let's just talk this evening. I want to walk through this book and make sure that it is serving. It is serving us well, and that it is really helping. Because and so let's walk through this. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk through, just name the chapter, and then I'm going to look at some personal reflections, some things that we could have done along the way, and that we're going to stop and make sure that we are doing those. So in chapter 1, when we talked about giving your emotions a voice, we talked about the reality of life, and we talked about just being honest with ourselves in a moment that seems to overwhelm us. We talked about being honest in those moments that seem to consume us, and being honest in those moments that seem to give us pain and angst and grief and anxiety. It was about being honest, and it was about giving your emotions a voice. And we also talked about making sure, remember this, you all, we talked about making sure that we know our triggers. So I want to go back and ask you all, if you all would chat with me, I would greatly appreciate it, because I think it will help some of our fellow passengers and some of those who are going to catch the replay. So let's just talk about a few things. And I really do need your help this evening. So I want to ask this question: what kind of situations tend to take you out of your comfort zone? We talked about knowing our triggers. What are those situations that will sometimes take you out of your comfort zone? Because as we are examining how to handle life at its most intense moments, then for goodness sakes, I think it behooves us to make sure that we can identify some of those intense moments, some of those moments that take us out of our comfort zone. We have to know the things that trigger us, the things that push us over the edge, the things that have the potential to cause us to show up in a place in a way that we don't ordinarily show up. What are some of those situations that tend to take you out of your comfort zone? For me, one of those, certainly, death always takes me out of my comfort zone. Death definitely takes me out of my comfort zone. A physical pain takes me out of my comfort zone. Sickness and disease takes me out of my comfort zone. Seeing people mistreated takes me out of my comfort zone. You see, all of these things. Those are the things that will take me. Disrespect takes me out of my comfort zone. Uh, uh, um, uh, Watching children or seeing children unhappy, those are the things that take me out of my comfort zone. They really do. Watching someone cry more than they smile, it takes me out of my comfort zone. We have to know those things. When I'm lied on, that takes me out of my comfort zone. When I feel like I am someone tries to humiliate me or disrespect me, those are the things that take me out of my comfort zone. But again, certainly things like death and financial struggle and physical illness those are the things. Those are the things that will take me out of my comfort zone. That will take me out of what I call my happy space. And so, as if you're going to give your emotions a voice, when Jesus was betrayed, and it took him out of his comfort zone. He went to in the Garden of Gethsemane. You know, if we share a faith, a like faith, if you believe that passage as I do, what he said to the fellows, listen, you all can watch with me just 1 hour. Come on, what's 1 hour? So that took him out of his comfort zone. His friend Lazarus died. That took him out of his comfort zone. In his humanity, those are the things that took him out of his comfort zone. being falsely accused and having to die on a cross as a human in his humanity. That took him out of his comfort zone. Let's know our triggers. All right. So what we're doing, we're just doing a walkthrough. We're doing a walkthrough because I want us to do a community checkup on all of the chapters, and we'll get to chapter 6 probably in our next conversation. But let's go. We talked about in chapter 2, we talked about talking to yourself, knowing how to talk to yourself, knowing how to encourage yourself, knowing how to tell yourself it's going to be all right. And so I'm asking you all, I sort of definitely need your help in the chat. So the question is, what kind of things, what kind of situations take you out of your comfort zone? The next thing I would ask in chapter 2 is what 3 to 5 words do you use to encourage yourself in stressful situations? Because because chapter 2 is about talking to yourself, and maybe someone doesn't know how to talk to him or herself, and they're wondering, okay, so what is everybody else saying? What are people saying to themselves? People who talk to themselves, they're saying things like, you can make it. They're saying things like, this is not your first time at the rodeo. They're saying things like, listen, you've got everything inside of you to deal with everything that you will encounter. They're saying things like, you know what, you are enough. They're saying things like self-validate because no one else can validate you. So I'm looking at the 3 to 5 word phrase that you can use to encourage yourself in stressful situations. In stressful situations, we are saying things like, this too will pass. Trouble won't last always. They're saying things, and we're saying things like, I got this. I can do this. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I know I can. I believe I can. I will. I will what? I will survive. I will achieve. I will overcome. I will adapt. I will adjust. I will be excellent. I will be all right. So chapter 2 was about talking to yourself. And again, you all, I just didn't want to move on to chapter 6 without us doing a community check on each other. Here where I live, we have our neighbors. We have neighbors, and we partner with each other to make sure that we check on each other. So that's all I'm doing this evening, just an emotional and spiritual and mental check on all of us. What 3 words do you use to encourage yourself in stressful situations? How do you talk to yourself? You realize that I'm not in this by myself. There's someone greater than I am. I see your comment, Linda. You said your 3 words are, help me, Jesus. All right. Then you all, let me ask you, as we moved on, we moved on then to chapter 3. This is just a recap. This is the recap for those who sort of missed some parts of the conversation. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same sheet of music. Chapter 3 was about encouraging somebody else, because it is true. It is true. We are indeed our brothers and sisters keepers. And then I go one step further, you all, because I believe this with my whole heart. If I am concerned about you, I'm not just my brother or my sister's keeper, but I am my brother and I am my sister. If we're going to help people with handling life at its most intense moments, we have to be able to identify with them and say, I see where you are. I see what you're going through. Put ourselves in their shoes before we make a judgment call about what we think they should do or how we think they should respond. Let's put ourselves in their shoes, and then let's learn how to encourage somebody else. So I want to ask you all this question then, and even if you're not putting it in the chat and you want to go back and later catch the replay because you said, oh, Color, you put him on the spot and I can't think about it right now. The question then, when we consider chapter 3 about encouraging somebody else, here is the question. What can you do to show kindness to someone and let them know that you care about their well-being? What can you do to show kindness to someone and let them know that you care about their well-being? I think one of the things that we do, we show up here on these Tuesdays and we show up on these Thursdays, and we really do invite people to come into this chat room, and we just chat some things out, and we try to listen to and offer and share hope and motivation and inspiration. It's just not one way, but it comes from you to me and from me to you and you to each other. And so that is the one thing that we do when we talk about encouraging somebody else. What can you do to show kindness to someone and let them know that you care about their well-being. One of the things that we can do is listen to people. That's one of the things that we can do. We can listen, we can hear them, and we can let them know that they matter. We can let them know that we see them, not just that we're looking at, but I see you. Not just that I hear you, but I'm really listening. I'm listening to what you have to say. Reminding them that they matter. Reminding them that they matter, just like we want people to remind us that we matter. Encourage somebody else. Why? Because there is this connectivity that we all share, and it's called the human experience. One of my favorite quotes by Dr. Maya Angelou is, "Nothing in the human experience is ever foreign to me." Nothing in the human experience is ever foreign to me. Why? Because I am a human. So let's learn to encourage people. Let's learn to encourage somebody else. What about these random acts of kindness? Do something kind for somebody. I think I shared in one broadcast, when it comes to people who have to take care of other folk, like caregivers and caretakers and care providers. Caregivers need care as well. What about sending somebody a random package? Just, oh my goodness, what do we call these? When I was when I was a young guy, and parents and family members would send care packages. What about just making a care package, sending to somebody and saying, I just want you to know I'm thinking about you. What about just calling somebody? What about texting or emailing somebody, say, I just want you to know that you're on my mind. I don't want anything. I'm not trying to get anything from you. I just want you to know that you're on my mind. When I tell you that would help somebody who was overwhelmed, to say to them, and as a matter of fact, you all, here's one of the things that I've learned in life. Sometimes when you want to encourage somebody else with your words and you don't know what to say to that individual, I don't know what to say, but I want to be here for you. That is some practical guidance. That is some practical assistance. Think about the times when people's loved ones have passed and you didn't know what to say. All you knew was that you wanted to be there. Think about the times when you yourself may have experienced a personal loss, and there was nothing that anyone could say at that moment that would soothe your heart, that would really make your heart stop hurting, but their presence alone said more than their mouths could ever say. You remember those moments, and it was just their presence that made the difference? Well, let's do role reversal, because it is true for us a lot of times. I don't know what to say to you, but I want you to know that I care. I don't know what to say to you, but I want you to know that I want to be there. I don't know what to say, but if I could reach inside your heart and just soothe it and massage it for a moment, I would do that. Let's learn to encourage people. Let's learn to show kindness. There is enough. There is enough vindictiveness. There's enough jealousy. There's enough hatred. There's enough of all of that stuff out there as it is. But let's not be named among those people. Let's be named among what is truly called humanity. All right. And then the next chapter that we talked about. Listen, y'all know I only have 1,800 seconds. So I'm trying to make sure that I walk us through this. I want to walk us through this because I want us to really make sure that we are doing this community check, and that we're checking on each other, and we're making sure that each other's all right. All right. So then, after we talked about this whole notion of encouraging somebody else, we talked about building. Oh my goodness, we talked about building a peaceful habitation. Right, Linda. Before COVID, before this pandemic, one of the things that you could do was just simply hug people. Just hug people, because when you hug people, it says, I don't know what to say, but I'm here for you, and I'm here with you. All right. You know what I did, you all? Some months ago, I actually, because I couldn't get there to hug people, one of the things that I did, I posted on one of my social media outlets. I said, let's just share a smile. Take a selfie of you smiling and send it to somebody else and say to that person, the smile that I just sent you, pay it forward. Smile and send someone else a smile. I'm telling you, maybe we could do that one day. It's just called a smile chain. Everybody else is sending all these kind of chain letters and everything else. But what about a smile chain? Just take a picture of yourself, smile, and send it to somebody else. And you say, I'm smiling for you. Because can I tell you this? You have no idea how many people are walking around each day frowning, and they are sad because they are experiencing life. They're going through life. Life is beating them up. Life is beating them down. Life is beating them out. But what you can do, and they feel isolated, they feel alone, they feel by themselves, and they feel like nobody else is on their side. And inside and outside, they're frowning and they're crying all day long because they feel alone. They feel like, I ain't got nobody to go through this with me. I ain't got nobody to hear me. I ain't got nobody to love me. I ain't got nobody to hug me. I ain't got nobody who I can talk to. I ain't got no shoulder to lean on. I ain't got no ear to talk to. And they are sad and despaired and despondent and distressed and disturbed. So can we at least, will you all do that? Will you all either after this broadcast or tomorrow, just you want a random act of kindness, just take a picture of you smiling and send it to somebody and say, this one is for you. Just do that. And then challenge them to send one to somebody else. It is true, when you smile, the whole world smiles back. All right. Let's try that. Let's try that one for a change. Then let's do this, you all. Let's go into the next one, because as we're talking about, encouraging somebody, but building a peaceful habitation. Thank you. Tanshel says, I will do that. A lot of times, and if I can just go here and just say this, and because I really want to move on, one of the things that I know and life has taught me is that the enemies of your heart, your mind, and your soul does not want to see you smile, does not want to see you experience joy. Have you ever seen some people who they will want to smile, or you say, when they get ready to take a picture, and you say smile, and they don't smile? Or sometimes when they get ready to laugh, the first thing that they would do is cover their face. But who dared to take the permission and have the audacity to tell you that you couldn't smile, or that your smile was not worth sharing, or that your laughter was not contagious? Do you know how many adults rather, were children that somebody told them they couldn't smile, or children that somebody told them they couldn't laugh? I had enough people as a child to tell me I could not smile, I should not smile, stop laughing. And they rip at your core. They rip at your soul. And we have a whole lot of people who have become adults with ripped souls and ripped cores. And so that is why it is important for us to talk about that when I'm overwhelmed, how to handle life at its most intense moment. Sometimes you just got to smile. Sometimes you got to laugh when ain't nothing funny. All right? But then the next chapter, we talked about building a peaceful habitation. My friend Tracy, good to see you. We're just doing a community checkup. We're making sure that we all are emotionally well and spiritually well and mentally well. So we're doing a checkup on the chapters that we have discussed thus far. And we're going to go to chapter 6 next go around. But this conversation, I wanted to make sure that we are really doing a community checkup. The next chapter, we talked about building a peaceful habitation. So I wanted to ask you all this. What at the end of that chapter is our personal reflection? Here's one of them. Name one thing that you can do to make your habitation more peaceful, more relaxing, or less stressful. And I'm asking you all because, again, I know that there are people who are going to catch the replay and they're saying, What were they saying? What were some suggestions? And so I'm just trying to throw them out because I want to make sure that as people are watching, as people are catching up with us, that they hear some of the practicality that we offer. So how do we build a peaceful habitation? What is one thing that you can do to make your habitation more peaceful, more relaxing, or less stressful? I'll tell you one of the things that you can do. Play some music. Just just play music. My family will tell you I love music. I love all kinds of music. I appreciate all kinds of music. Hey, I can't say I love all kinds of music because some of it moves so fast I don't think I can understand it. But I'm telling you, I love music. So what can you do to make your habitation more peaceful? What about this? Yeah, meditate or be silent for 10 minutes a day. How about that? Using positive words, speaking positive affirmations. You can do all of that. What about burning scented candles? Because sometimes the scent will soothe you. It's almost like aromatherapy. Sometimes I have one of those devices in my house that I can talk to and it talks to me. I have one of those devices and I will ask my device to just play the sound of rain because we have sensory perceptors. And sometimes it is about what we hear that might soothe us. And sometimes I just want to hear, just play the sound of rain or just play music. Sometimes it is about the scent, the aromatherapy, a certain fragrance. Sometimes it is about the touch. And that is why people who say things like a nice hot bath, it is about the touch. It is about the physical relaxation. Sometimes just visual reminders. So sometimes it is about what are they called? You all help me out. Vision boards. Sometimes it is about saying, let me just look at pictures or images. Walk outside and just look at the sky, the trees. Sometimes it is about sound. And sometimes the sound that you want is no sound at all. Right? One of the most beautiful sounds that I think I will have ever heard my entire life is the sound of a baby laughing. So there's sometimes when you can just, you can find all this stuff on the internet, just the sound of a baby laughing. I love that sound. I absolutely love that sound. So we can share sounds. All right. So build on a peaceful habitation that because it was heavy. It was a heavy conversation because building a peaceful habitation, we talked about sometimes we just have to, sometimes you will not be able to say hello to your promise until you've said goodbye to your problem. There's sometimes we can't kiss some things hello until we've kissed some things goodbye. So we talked about that, and that was a heavy conversation. But on a lighter note, what are some of the things that we can do to build a peaceful habitation? Listen, burn candles, play music, sit in silence, and do all those kinds of things. All of those kinds of things. That's what we can do to build a peaceful habitation. And then finally, in addition to building a peaceful habitation, one of the things that we talked about was capturing the lyrics of your life. Capturing the lyrics of your life. And remember, we talked about all kinds of lyrics, but the lyrics that would encourage us, the lyrics that would encourage us to live, to keep living, lyrics that would encourage us to keep living because we realize, listen, I have a life worth living. I have a life worth sharing. Right? And then and then just capture lyrics or write lyrics that remind us to just keep loving. I'm worth loving. Loving the God that created us and called us here, loving each other and loving ourselves. Y'all know I'm getting ready to go. And then another one. Another one. I'm thankful to see you all. Yes, you're checking in on each other. I love that. This is checkup night. This is check in to make sure that we are all emotionally, mentally, and spiritually okay, and that we're well. When I'm overwhelmed, we have a community, and we're sharing accountability and responsibility for each other. So capturing the lyrics of your life, and someone put it in the comments earlier. And as we talked about capturing the lyrics that make us live and love and then laugh. As we leave this evening, I want to ask you this: what makes you laugh? What makes you laugh? If anyone knows me and knows me well, I've been sad long enough. I had enough sadness as a little boy, but I've learned to appreciate life, and I've learned to laugh, because laughter is good medicine. Laughter really is good medicine. There's something about a cheerful heart. And what we all need to do is learn how to laugh. Do you not know that you can just go on a YouTube and just laugh, just find ways to laugh, find clips that are laugh worthy, and just find a good way to laugh. I was talking to one of my friends who's a preacher, because I was watching a preacher, and I was watching his clip Sunday night, and he stopped in the middle of his message, and he was talking about just the ability to laugh. Sometimes we take life so seriously, and we just fail to laugh. But I want to remind us this evening, you all, give your emotions the voice. I'm just summarizing where we've been in our journey along when I'm overwhelmed and how to handle life at its most intense moments. I just want to summarize. Give your emotions a voice. Remind yourself of the situations. Know the situations that take you out of your comfort zone. Then learn to talk to yourself. Find those 3 to 5 words that you can always use to encourage yourself in the middle of a stressful situation. And then encourage somebody else. Show kindness to somebody. A random act of kindness. Start a smile chain. And then build a peaceful habitation. A space that you've worked hard to achieve, a space that you now contend for. And as you're building this peaceful habitation, know the things that makes your habitation a little more peaceful, a little more relaxing, and a little less and a lot less stressful. Just remind us, you all, because this check-in and this checkup is important. And then capture the lyrics of your life. Lyrics that will remind you to live, to love, and to laugh. And I love it. K Sharp says, I laughed at myself last week. Why? Because you may not find this funny, but K Sharp says, I put too much Himalayan salt in my food. It was awful, but it was a good laugh. I laughed at somebody today, and perhaps this individual thought that it was a very serious matter, because I saw this one person who posted that this is the worst day of my life, the second worst day of my life. And people were concerned, like, why is this one of the worst days of this person's life? And people started saying things like, I'm going to pray for you. You're going to be all right. You've got the victory. You're on the winning side. Of God is not going to forsake you. And you're going to be okay. One person said, well, why was this one of the worst days of your life? The individual responded and said, because I found a snake in the chicken house. A snake in the hen house. When I thought that was funny. Not that there was a snake, but that people were so concerned and said, I'm going to pray for you. God is going to give you the victory, and God's going to see you through, and I'm pleading the blood, and all this kind of stuff. Finally, somebody said, well, why was this one of the second worst days of your life? The person said, because I saw a snake in the hen house. Now, that was funny to me. It may not have been funny to everybody else, but that thing right there was funny to me. Y'all, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you all go. But know this. Capture lyrics that remind you to laugh, to love, and to live. And if I can share this with you as I go, it's one of my favorite poems. It simply says, I am loved. It says, I am loved. And I wrote this, it is in my, I forget which book this is, but it's in this book right here, Who We Once Were. And the poem says, when there are lemons in your life and blahs in your days, when there are oceans in your path and mountains in your ways, don't stop to ponder. No, don't miss a beat. Simply tell yourself, I am larger than this, for I am loved. I am loved matchlessly, unconditionally, invisibly. You see, yes, I am loved. When in your mind there is confusion, and in your heart there is pain. When there are no stars in your nights, but your days are filled with rain. Don't weep and wonder. Don't ever skip a tune. Simply tell yourself, I am better than this because I am loved. I am loved perpetually, undeservingly, like no other. I tell you, I am loved. When anxiety overwhelms you and uncertainty overtakes you, because and somebody said, well, Cutler, where is this poem? This poem is in right here. It's in book number 3. Y'all know I'm not good with remembering these books, right? But when anxiety overwhelms you and uncertainty overtakes you, when insecurity befriends you and all your fears come to shake you, do not only look without, for you must look within and simply tell yourself, I am greater than this because I am loved. I am loved without a limit, beyond measure or degree. I am greater than my circumstances, for I know assuredly that God loves me. Listen, you all, let's keep building community. Let's keep maintaining connectivity. You all keep your heads up, keep your hopes up, stay safe, stay sane. Invite people to come back and let's talk to Cutler, especially about when I am overwhelmed. Okay, listen, there is, please know this, there is and always will be in my heart for you so much love. Have a great night. Good night, all.